In this video, in the view right there, you see my white pipe loom, which I will put the link to the plans where you can build one of these yourself if you want. And as some of you may know, I've gone through a lot of different plans or ideas or tryouts for how to do landscape design in fabric and make it reusable and yet professional. And this is where I'm at, and I think this will work the best. This is called Soumak weaving. And Sumac weaving is an ancient Persian method of knot tying on a warp that is basically made for very detailed rugs. I use it for tapestries, and there's not a lot of information online about it, but as you can see, I've got the loom warped for tapestry, and I have about 6 plain weave rows, 3 lavender sumac rows, 1 green sumac row, and this particular loom, the way I have it warped, gives me a 44-inch warp. So now what I'm doing is taking brown wool, and to make sumac weaving, each warp thread gets a half hitch knot tied on it. And you just go back and forth, and then every 6 rows, this is what you won't always find online. Every 6 rows, I also plain weave. I'm sorry, let me start again. In between each sumac row, I plain weave, and then every 6 rows, when I do the plain weave, I go around this crocheted selvage. And what that does, you can see over here, it keeps the shape of the whole piece. So when you're doing tapestry, it's a very good way to do tapestry and keep it straight without it caving in, especially if you're using hand-spun yarns. But what I'm going to do, so this is going to be all brown sumac, and about 40 inches long maybe when I get it done. And then I am taking a couple of small flower looms, one by Clover that has 2 looms that are only 1 inch square. And those are going to be the plants. And then I have a brass, I think it's Susan Bates or Easy Weaver, round flower loom that I'm going to make larger items with that are actually going to be trees. So this is about 10 inches wide when it's done. It'll be 40 inches long, and it is going to be like a fabric blackboard that the yarn flowers or plants can stick right on it. I can lay it on the floor, I can hang it on the wall, I can hang it with clothespins from a coat hanger, and pin my garden plan out. And this is a good time of year. This is October. This is a good time to start something like this, to set up. This might take me like a week, maybe 2 weeks at the most to get the whole board done. But after that, it's just making flowers and laying out your design. And then because you're leaving the background brown, you can change the design anytime you want with any kind of little yarned flowers. So even if you then take it to pen and ink, this is a wonderful way to lay things out. It'll be portable. I can roll the whole thing up. It's like a portable desk. It'll be great. Now, in addition, these make wonderful rugs, wonderful thick rugs, and it's just a wonderful way to weave. So again, half hitch knot on each warp thread, and in between each row of sumac knots you do a plain weave row, and every 6 rows pull in a selvage. Now the selvage, size G crochet hook, worsted weight yarn, and I just string it on the loom next to the warp, and it gives a nice finished edge to your tapestry. I've done tapestries before, and what happens is you start out wide and then it pulls in and you end up with a triangle. So this helps prevent that a little bit. It's a really good fall project so that you can start planning next year's garden.